stress. So this is the spirit that we have brought this stuff in, and this is the spirit that we're continuing to share it with you, even on this level, so that it can be palatable to you in your everyday circumstances, and not, you know, gang you up with all this big medical legalese or nutritional words, you know, that get you confused. You don't need no charts, no graphs or anything. You don't need no nutritional, you know, program. You just need to eat the fresh fruits and vegetables and balance them. Variety, variety, variety. So I want to finish one note on the grass, especially the wheatgrass. So I have some wheatgrass here. Now this wheatgrass, you know, it's, as again, it's not an electromagnetic food. We brought it from a magnetic food, a builder, into a green leafy vegetable, an electromagnetic food. So it's a balancer, it's a stabilizer. But then the next step is to take this wheatgrass and put it through a juice extractor. And you get wheatgrass juice. Wheatgrass juice, you could take wheatgrass juice and put it under a microscope next to your blood, and you will see that it has the same molecular structure as the human blood.
Wow.
So it oxygenates, it gets to the blood immediately, remove toxins, and oxygenate the blood, oxygenate the cells where the toxins were been released. So those toxins, obviously, you're going to take some wheatgrass juice. Now, wheatgrass juice has been migrated now from an electromagnetic food, from a green leafy vegetable. Now it becomes an electrical food. So it's in the company with the fruits now, with the watermelon, the coconut water. It will clean you out. But it's so powerful that a 1 ounce shot might be an OD if you're very toxic. You take a 1 ounce shot of fresh wheatgrass juice. Next time you pass by a juice bar and have wheatgrass juice, take a 1 ounce shot, but make sure you do it on an empty stomach. It's going to rip those toxins out of the cells immediately. Dump them into the bloodstream, and if you're extremely toxic, you're going to feel dizzy, nauseous, because all those toxins in the bloodstream are going to hit the brain cells now, and the blood circuit moves slower in the brain than anywhere else. So you're going to get this toxic rush, and you're going to blame it on the wheatgrass, and it's something make me sick. Okay, so you're supposed to follow it with your coconut water, because the coconut water, being a true electrical food, is going to now remove those toxins out of your system. So there's a whole science with this, you know, and a lot of us, we jump into this stuff, plant-based, and all of this stuff, and we just go eating, you know, the regular oat milk that comes out of the health food store, you know, the organic, you know, corn chips, and we think we got it made. But be careful. Study a little deep. There's more than what you see on the surface.
Well, we're going to go to questions now. The first question is, can pregnant women do a water fast?
No, I do not recommend it. Ideally, you should not do anything that involves detoxing while you're pregnant. That's a very dangerous move, because the waste that you're going to release might end up in the embryo, more than likely. So you might poison the baby. So any situations like this that you're planning on doing, do it before you conceive. Okay. Okay, so detox before you conceive. Plan a good 2 years before you start to think of conceiving, and get those cells ready. But do not change and do any radical detox while you're pregnant or breastfeeding.
Okay, next question. So basically, see, now me, I decided that I was gonna detox myself for a while before I have a child. I don't yet have a child, but I wanted to make sure I was as healthy as possible before I have a child. Not that I have anyone in mind in particular, but I know that, you know, I'm 32 now, I'm getting to that stage. So what would you say to people who are planning to have children, kind of they're in quarantine right now, and they're just going to do it because they're bored? You're saying so that they should get fit, healthy, do all the detoxing and prepare their body before they have children. That's what you're saying, right?
Yes, because ideally, you know, the sperm and the egg that comes together, we need to have them fit and ready. you know, that foundation for the DNA of that child is in that initial, you know, ecstasy, you know, of conception. So we need to get ourselves ready, you know, because with many of us, we might just be really, you know, dealing with toxic secretions, you know, bouncing back and forth between each other. So ideally, yes, do some form of detox. At least slow down, back up, and then this is the time now where you want to institute, say, doing a juice fast once a week or a water fast. So if you start now, and once you have conceived and you're pregnant, you can continue doing the water fast once you now are pregnant, because you've already conditioned the body to function that way, and you don't have the toxic buildup in the body that have to be rushed out, that the baby now has to fight with, you know.
And the man for his sperm, is it just the woman that needs to detox, or should the man
Oh,
also
both.
for
Both.
conception?
Yeah, the man needs to be there before conception, during conception where we're always present, and during pregnancy, during birth. You know, this whole concept of a midwife, a whole bunch of us be like, whoa, you know, a woman having a wife, but what about mid-husband? What happened to
Yeah.
the mid? Let the husband be the mid. Why you not produce a next wife? Some of y'all are jealous of women, you don't want a next wife in the family, but when it comes to birth, you know, you want a midwife. So, you know, so the man needs to be there before, during, you know, at the moment, and follow through all the way. We need to build these foundations right away, you know. So it's very crucial, you know, and our food has to be considered very, very seriously. It's the main ingredient that makes us who we are. So, you know, we don't want to build the baby, you know, or the embryo, you know, to be an addict to bad food.
Um, Everybody go message him and tell him to come back, and that I didn't just lock him off. I'm gonna bring him back in a second. Then ask them, and I'll ask him. But just put it in the question thing, because we're gonna go through the questions so that we can find out the reasons or the answers to those questions. Is he here? We can't see. Someone go message Aris Life _ and tell him to come back. Alright, I'm gonna try to come back in just 1 second, because I don't know, maybe I need to reset my Instagram. Chakabars, Chakabars, and I'm on this one, the Fruits and Roots Instagram, because right now I am blocked from doing lives on my Instagram for a variety of reasons, probably, but the main one is because we kick in that knowledge. So questions and answers and questions and answers. We're not talking about no politics. We're not talking about the government. We're not talking about anything apart from fruits, roots, health, and nutrition. So I want to bring you live quickly, and you can ask a question to ask the doctor when you come back. But that's it. We're not talking about nothing else.
What's up?
All right.
So I had a question about core work.
Core work.
Yeah, like your abs.
That is a question for my Instagram, not for fruit. Sorry. This is nutrition. These are all nutrition based questions, not workout based questions.
Well, I don't have a question, but thank you though.
All right, take a look. Um, um, his afro is amazing though. He got them curls. Is it still safe to order fruit? Yes, it is still safe to order fruit. And if you're not going to eat fruit, what else are you going to eat? So quickly questions, ask the questions fast, and I'm going to get the doctor to answer them. Let me know when he's back. Can't see him right now.
Right.
Will do.
Yes, I. Oh, the connection was cray. Yo, brother, come back. Where I am, it's 11:01 a.m. Yes, yes.
Hi.
Wagwan.
My question was about alcohol and wine. We talked about ganja, and I wanted to speak about or learn about alcohol and how that affects your body.
Okay, cool. I'll ask him in
Okay,
peace.
thank you.
Um, okay, so alcohol. I'm gonna take 3. No, I'm gonna bring him back. Also, go follow Aris_life. Yes,
Hi.
yes.
So just a really quick question. I'm not sure if you'll be able to answer it, but I'm just curious on how you feel about the 7 chakras.
Um, how I feel about them.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm in the process of re-healing myself as far as just, I don't want to sound stupid, but the cosmic energy, which you guys were mentioning as far as food. Could you maybe touch bases on, I don't know, if you know, the consuming the energy of the foods, or if they can help align your chakras? I don't know. I just kind of wanted to just hear your input on which chakra, I guess, is the most powerful to you.
They're all very powerful. Chakras are just melanin in the body. So they are energetic portals, and you need spiritual nutrition to open them. You need proper holistic nutrition in terms of what you eat, but you can also fast and meditate and open up your
Right.
chakras. But all chakras are melanin centers of the body, magnetic centers of the body that respond to stimulation from, look, I'll show you now, which
Or
responds.
do you suggest a good book that I read? Because I feel like I'm in and out of my spiritual belief, but I'm at a point where I really yearn to be whole again. And I've been to that special place of meditation, my third eye being open, but it's just like, it's hard for me to stick to it. And just tonight I was scrolling through Instagram and I just happened to come across you guys, and I was just kind of over, listening to some of the things he was saying about the wheatgrass, and should we juice
This
all of our, okay, I'm gonna screenshot it. Oh my god, thank you so much.
and this one.
Okay, let me screenshot that. Also, can you tilt it down just a little bit further? I'll get it. Okay, there we are. Okay, just one quick question and you can let me go. So should
I thought you
we,
just asked a question.
one more.
We can't do 2
should,
questions, but in this book
no,
it has a breakdown of the chakras. And
absolutely.
different planes: the spiritual body, mental body, astral body, etheric body, and then the physical body. And it explains it scientifically, your
Right.
relation to your chakras and how you need to
Right.
nourish it. So,
Should
peace.
we juice all our fruits and vegetables though?
Ask that in the questions, and I'll put it up.
Okay. Thank you
All
so
right.
much. God bless.
So, Aris, is he here? Is he here? Can you see him? Yo, Aris, if you're here, then comment, because I can't find you now. I just look for you. You are tuned into Fruits and Roots TV live, coming to you from Thailand. Yo, this me tell you now. Let me just try and find him. Where am I? He commented. Oh, he's still here. I'm looking though. I can't see him now. So the first question I have is the CMOS question, and then we're going to get onto the alcohol question. He did. He's here. Aris, comment again, because there's too many people commenting. I can't see your comment. I'm scrolling, but it's just like a whole bag of people. A whole bag of people for talk. There's like literally over 1,000 comments. There's only 700 people. He keeps saying he's here, but I can't find him. Aris, comment. It made me realize how when like a live stream is popping and so many people are coming, there you are. And so many people, it puts the comments in order. So it's like you post a comment and you get put into a queue almost of like 30, 40 comments. Go live. I've got him now. Too much. There was so many people commenting. I couldn't find you. The first question that we didn't get to go through is, can you iodine overdose from having CMOS? Can you overdose on CMOS?
No, not necessarily. You know, it's well, see, the minerals that are in the sea vegetables, they call them trace minerals. So they're like basically dealing with microgreens kind of level of you know, potency. But still, you know, it depends on your level of activity, pretty much, because you know, sea moss also is a bulking, you know, agent as well. You know, so you can't eat too much of it and don't be busy. You know,
Don't
so
work out.
you don't be busy. You have to get out and burn it. You know, nutrients are not to be consumed in big, massive amount and stored up. You know, you're supposed to be, you know, expended and replenished on a constant basis. You know, so but generally it's pretty much like most of these natural foods, is that the body reaches a point of its own saturation where it can tell, and you automatically lose the desire for it. The thing is, once we clean up our system and we get in touch with what's going on inside and be able to read the signals, you know, that is coming, you know, from the brain to and from the brain, for the rest of the body, then the system knows when to shut down until you had enough. It's like the same way you climb on sugar and then you don't want no more fruits, you know, similar situation.
Okay. The next question was, we touched the other day, or a while ago, we touched on ganja. A sister came in, she did come in and she wanted to touch on alcohol and wine. A lot of people in the house right now are drinking liquor because they don't have nothing to do. So they're in the house and they're just drinking wine, which if you distill it is just cooked sugar. But what are your opinions on wine and its effects on the body? Not palm wine, just commercial wine and liquor.
Yeah, well, see, these types, it depends on basically the condition of your body. Because that's why I say, for example, people who drink hard liquor, they generally consume lots of meat. And the harder the liquor, the more rare they want their meat.
Mm-hmm.
Those two things sort of go hand in hand, because if you don't, the liquor is fuel for fire. The same way you use it to burn up bacteria and germs and stuff on your hands. Right now, everybody under the alcohol thing, you wash your hand with a little bit of alcohol. But of course, that isopropyl alcohol, it just evaporates immediately. But the liquor alcohol, the hard liquor alcohol, don't evaporate like that. It needs a source now to cook. It needs something to burn up. So ideally, this is where you want to feed it some meat. And this is why, because if you don't give it something to cook, some meat to cook, it's going to cook your liver. And they can tell you got cirrhosis of the liver.
People at steakhouses are always drinking like whiskey and bourbon and Hennessy and these type of things. So they eat their rare steak and then they drink their liquor because yeah, I get it now. I never knew that.
Yeah, the liquor drinkers need the steak. The steak eaters need the liquor. Need something to process that meat before it rots in the system. And basically with maggots and worms and all of that kind of stuff. But eventually it still will. And it's the same thing now with the wine and cheese business. That wine and cheese, you see them always bust up together.
Yeah, why?
It's the same. Now, this is basically a byproduct. The cheese is a byproduct from the animal itself. It's the pus, So a milder alcohol would work with. So they go hand in hand. So and the wine, they're dealing mostly with grape juice or some form of fruit juice. So these things now have digestive enzymes in them that is going to help you to process these stuff, to process certain foods, especially starch, the pasta and the wine also.
Quite Italian. So what effect does that have on your body when you consume a steak and liquor or wine and cheese? Like inside of you, when that goes into you, what does that do on a cellular level? What does it because the way that you said it kind of seemed like a solution. There'll be people at home going, well, if I eat meat, I'm just going to drink some liquor, or if I eat cheese, I'm just going to drink some wine. What does that do?
Yeah, well, see what we're doing, we're really tying ourselves up in a maze. So eventually we have to unwind this stuff, because none of these two, especially together like that, is going to bring us any nutritional value whatsoever. And it's not going to leave our system. We actually build up an intolerance for it, or a tolerance for it, that we need more and more. And this is when you go over the tip, you go over the edge, and you just can't stop drinking. So it definitely has an addicting effect. So that's why eventually they send you to some sort of detox center. But most of the time they want to address the liquor. They're not trying to address even the meat, because automatically you go to a alcoholic, AYAAA or whatever, then, and they get you off of that, then you automatically going to see your meat intake is going to reduce drastically. Your desire is going to reduce drastically. But then, there are medical complications that come with all of these things. But still, I think for me, moderation with a lot of these things is crucial. Because yes, they do have their value, but on a certain level. Now, besides the things that I mentioned, now you got to even deal with the nitrates and all of the chemicals in the meat and the alcohol, that you're creating a chemical time bomb within your system. And this is where a lot of us, we don't see these other layers, you know, as part of, you know, coming from the same cause. So ideally, you know, if you're going to drink some liquor, especially wine, you can make your own wine. You know, you can make your own wine. But see, the issue now, a lot of us go put the yeast in the thing. You know, even your homemade wine, you go put the yeast. What is yeast? It's a fungus that creates another level of issue. So let it ferment naturally. Let it ferment naturally. You can make, you know, say sorrel wine. You know, you could make a pimento liqueur with pimento and cane juice. Just bury this up there in a barrel now. You know, but you have to get the right pimento, you know, the whole seeds when they ripe, not when they dry, and you mix it with the fresh sugarcane juice, barrel it up and bury it for a few months now. Take your time. So it's time and patience also involved in these things that we don't even want to get involved ourselves directly. It's too inconvenient. So we go buy something that's, you know, going to create a whole big challenge for us.
And then you say moderate. So don't drink a whole heap of liquor. And the meat, the fruit is your meat. Or you can make cheese from fruit, from nut cheese or seed cheese or whatever, right? Because you're not advocating that people eat steak, right?
No, no. Well, look, what I'm drinking right here, this Noni, this is a wine, you know. This is wine. I take the Noni when it's ripe, when it's ready, before it gets overripe on the tree. You harvest it and you put it in a jar, close it for at least 10 days. I like to leave mine for 30 days. But also I would take that jar and bury it in the earth as well. So when I uncork it 30 days later, I'm actually drinking Noni wine. There is a trace of alcohol in here. It's actually, it's a vinegar. Noni is a super vinegar. It would never spoil. You don't have to refrigerate it. And you could use it now to pickle your pepper sauce and then something other than just using the white vinegar and all those, you know, so make your own. But of course, we're not living in places where these things grow.
So Noni cleans up. Noni helps to clean.
Oh yeah, Noni is a complete cellular detoxifier.
Right.
It removes toxins from all the cells in the body simultaneously, right away. You're not gonna get any mad rush. You're not gonna, you know, it's not like having a diarrhea or anything like that when all these toxins come out. The way it's gonna be manifested, where you know that you've been drinking Noni, is when you drop a load, the load is gonna be bigger. You're not gonna rush to the bathroom, but you're gonna see like, where did all this S come from? The same system, but you add a whole lot more jumping into the pipe because you've been drinking the Noni. What I had this morning was aloe vera. I get the aloe, and I have a fresh plant right by my door. You know, I have one on one side, aloe on one side of the door, and the next side of the door I have my leaf of life, and I mix those together. So I put the aloe and the leaf. I peel the aloe, take the gel, put it in the blender, you know, or the juicer. I usually like to juice it because in the blender it foams up too much. It picks up too much oxygen, so it gets oxidized very quickly. So I would peel it and run it through a slow juicer. Or even if you have a juicer that's not slow, push it in slowly. Don't rush it through. Just gently push it in, and you're going to see all you're going to get is juice. You're not going to get any pulp coming out. If you're getting pulp coming out, you're putting it too fast, or your juicer don't work. You might just have a toy or something like that that call a juicer, but you need a good strong juicer. But I would put that in with the leaf of life, and I made an aloe leaf of life juice this morning. I had a whole 8-ounce glass of that. And I tell you, it hit the system so nice. Of course, the flavor is going to really, for a lot of us, is going to put a barrier there, you know. So if you want to like neutralize the flavor a little bit, I'll run some pineapple in the juicer as well. You know, run some pineapple. So pineapple make it taste real nice, you know. But see, the aloe vera, that Cinco Bible we call in Jamaica, you know, it's It's a cellular detoxifier as well, but it's a smart one because it slides the toxins out of the cell, and immediately it seals the cells back so the toxins don't get reabsorbed. Because this is a challenge with a lot of the detox systems that we use today, is that the toxins come out, but then jump back in quick. You know, that's why you go jam something and it just defeat the whole purpose of having taken the formula. So, and this is where aloe works really beautiful. And besides that, it also has a mild laxative effect. So whatever is released, it helps the body push it out completely. And this is a marvelous thing. So these are the kind of things that we need to look at, you know, and do on a daily basis. You know, a nice smooth mover. Aloe is absolutely a nice smooth mover.
Iris. So the next question is, no nutritional yeast then to substitute for cheese. So is nutritional yeast beneficial? Is it a food? How did it happen? Why are people putting that into their cheese?
That's the question. The first question is it a food? It's not food. It's a fungus. It's a fungus. You know, it basically grows. Well, we know how it grows. It doesn't grow from a seed. It doesn't grow from a plant. You know, it attaches itself. You know, just like mushrooms. You know, I have some of my brothers and sisters who really swear about mushrooms and adore. I mean, I have no problem with it. You know, but I know for me, mushroom is a poison. Mushroom is a poison. It's a fungus. A fungus is fungus. You know, and you know, it's they call them spores too.
Yeah.
Spores are spores. Okay. It's a whitehead, not a blackhead. It's a whitehead that come out to the earth. It's a toxic release from the earth. When you say after the rain and the mushroom then pop up all around in your yard, this is detox. These are whiteheads. Same like you have pimples popping up in your face. It's the same thing that's going on with the earth. You know, so so these things produce a lot of yeast. And the whole something about nutritional yeast. Why they put the word nutritional in front of it? Huh? Yeast is yeast. So to get that cheesy taste, what do I use? You better come to school, you know. I use Noni juice in my cheese.
Okay.
You talking, you know, some expensive European cheese flavor. This is natural culture. Natural culture. You know, so these are the kind of things, you know, that I'm looking forward to sharing with the family. You know, I just did a coconut milk. I did a coconut milk with coconut water, just a mature coconut. And also I did a walnut milk. And for those who don't have access to coconut water, I did the walnut milk with water, a mountain spring water, especially, you know, from Jamaica. You want a mountain spring water if you're going to use water. You don't want something that hit the earth and went penetrated into the earth. You don't want a well water. You don't want something from an underground spring. You want something that runs off the mountain, so it hasn't picked up all those, you know, negative minerals and so forth. So I did the walnut with the spring water, and I sweetened it with dates. You know, not date, this sort date. You know, not no kind of syrup, no agave or maple or even honey. We know honey. I mean, it's sweet, but it's still vomit. It's a regurgitation that the bees produce for their babies, you know. So, but anyway, we don't want to go off into that, you know. But the thing is, the walnut, I blended sea moss in it. Sea moss, and I have a sea moss that I harvest in St. Lucia. So it's a nice thick sea moss, and we dry it in the sun and everything. I just soak that sea moss for 12 hours. And then when you blend it, it breaks down smooth. So you don't have to, that's the thing, many ones think they have to heat sea moss to break it down. You know, and the sea moss even acts as the emulsifier to keep the milk from separating.
Okay.
Yes. So sea moss is very vital, and using it in a milk form is absolutely the way to go. And by the way, I sent you those recipes, so if you can get a hold of them and put them up. Those two
Yeah.
recipes, the family will really appreciate them.
I'll put them up on my IG when I download them. The CMOS question brings me on to my next question. Can you reverse, or not my next question, somebody's next question, can you reverse infertility?
Woo! Can you reverse infertility? Yes, it's a big question, you know, but there's many factors. We really got to look at it on an individual level, you know. Definitely, you know, the age of the individual, or of the young lady, and also the condition, the constitution of the body, you know, any type of medical issues or things of that nature. And also we have to look at the toxicity, because, you know, there's blockage going on, you know, there's interference. So yes, herbs can help in the process, no question. You know, there's certain herbs, like the one that comes to mind right away is the red raspberry. Anything that has to do with any type of reproductive issue with the female, whether you're nursing, you're pregnant, you know, whatever, this is going to help. So that's like a given. You know, the down kwai, you know, but still, food is the big key. Food is the big key, because you don't want to obstruct your system, that the body is not in a position now to really release these eggs. So there's a lot of blockage, you know, that is possibly going on, you know. But any condition of the body, especially something like this, that possibly has to do with some sort of environmental hazard, and not, you know, a natural defect of the individual system, these things can be managed. So, but food is always our best start, because, you know, most of the medicines that are being produced, they're produced originally from food, you know, period. You know, and hey, since you still have to eat, why not, you know, take care of two beautiful birds with one sling, you know?
So what would you say about fibroids?
About fibroids? Well, you know, it's fibrous tissues. It's tough tissues. You have to soften them up. You have to weed them back out, you know. So, of course, papaya, the papain, that powerful digestive enzyme that would begin to tenderize them, and things like okra, aloe, you know. But besides the diet, you know, absolutely, you know, herbs are going to help. But the diet is a huge factor, because you got to get your hormones back in the proper order as well, because definitely it affects the hormones, you know, and it feeds on certain hormones. So that's why, you know, especially, you know, young ladies, you know, as you're considering conceiving, this is where the detox help to get these things out of the way. Because if you have anything like that, you know, any type of fibroids, and you conceive, they could really create some major issues for you, because they tend to grow. You know, they feed very lusciously on certain foods. You know, so changing the eating system, being careful with the starches, those tough starches wrapped with the grease, then we're going to start seeing, you know, a major improvement. But these are things that have been covered extensively by, you know, master queen teachers like Queen Afua. You know, she's got the formula. So just go and look up Sacred Women, look up Queen Afua, and you're gonna get, you know, you're gonna get it done. Okay. So we have many sisters that have taken care of that, you know, in great ways. So I have been blessed to be able to sit at some of their feet to get this little information that I'm sharing with you. But it goes beyond, you know, the little bit that I can share with you now. So really, you know, if it's something that's afflicting you, you need to go home and get that sister love from, you know, direct.
Okay, thoughts on fish?
Fish. It's the
Because
greatest source of body odor.
when people cut out meat and cheese and thing, they go, yeah, but I'm just gonna eat fish. So when I was cutting out, I cut out red meat and dairy first, then I cut out chicken for a year, and then the last thing I was eating fish because I thought that fish was a cleaner meat or better for me. So what would you say to people who are thinking of or are still eating fish, or what would you say about fish? You said
Yeah, well, it's
odor.
interesting. Some people who eat fish, they still classify themselves as a vegetarian, and kind of close up to something there. But number one, fish is the greatest source of human body odor. Look at fish, the way it is when it comes to us. It spoils at room temperature. It spoils at ambient temperature. It even spoils in the refrigerator, at 40, 50 degrees. Fish has to be frozen for it not to break down, to decompose and rot just at, certain temperatures. So right there, that alone tells you something, because your body is not a freezer. Your gut is not a freezer. If anything, it's going to heat it up even more than ambient temperature. You're talking a good 100 degrees down inside of your gut. So that fish is going to spoil, it's going to rot faster than it probably even does sitting on your table. So, and the our digestive system, our intestinal tract is extremely long. So it takes a good 4 hours at least for something like fish to digest. And then, of course, if we're mixing it with starch and other things, that even holds it back. So a lot of us, even with consuming fish on a regular basis, daily basis, we're actually backed up with undigested stuff that is just rotting, decaying, festering. So it's still secondhand protein. These things, well, of course, now that they're like more than secondhand protein, because you have fish that are eating other fish, and there becomes a whole nother danger. And of course, the sea is probably one of the most polluted places on earth right now with all this plastic and stuff. A lot of fish that are coming out now with plastic inside their system. A lot of these chemicals are down there. They're really creating a major havoc. So of course what they're doing farm fish. So they're raising your fish on a farm and they're feeding it all of these chemicals, all of these growth hormones. So we really, really need to be careful. And it is something that the protein and even the what they call those omega-3 fatty acid that you get in certain fish, tuna and salmon and stuff like that. You can get these things from flax seeds. They're seeds that can offer you these things, that they're natural plant fats that is found here on the earth, that you can get these natural omega fatty acids with no problem whatsoever. But we need to go beyond, our little box, because I would take, for example, something like, well, back in my early days in the sun-fired foods cuisine, anyone who knows me from Brooklyn and travel around the U.S., in the 80s, 90s, and whipping out sun-fired foods, I had a dish that I called tree fish. Tree fish, just the name of the dish. Back then people were doing mock this and that, but I just never mocked. I said, well, this is a tree fish. And I would use the young jackfruit, the green jackfruit, that I would pickle and tenderize it, and I would mix it with about 4 different seaweed. So you get the texture. It's like a conch salad. You get the, or ceviche, escovitch. You get the texture of the flesh of the fish, and you get the sea flavor. Because fish, the flavor that you like in fish is the same flavor that you get in seaweed. It's just sea flavor. So the same fish is eating the seaweed. So we're using these seaweeds to season these dishes now. And some people, really, they even got to the point that they didn't even want it because it reminded them too much of fish. And I even had, I think at a big expo, one sister came up and said, oh, tree fish? Yeah, my husband brought some of those home last week. So they confuse it with flying fish, but then when I explained the principle behind the whole concept of naming the dish, even tree fish, like, oh, okay, you know, because really a lot of what I do is making it that you can associate, that you can relate to it, but we're not actually imitating, because you know there's no fish that really grows on tree, but you can associate it because of the flavor. And this is where, you know, the whole psychology of food is really getting us today, because they're bringing up certain things and they're putting certain names on it, and we just automatically jump in, don't realize the catch behind it, like this whole plant-based concept. But, you know, go ahead.
Should have put a patent on that, because right now here in Thailand, I can get jackfruit tuna.
Jackfruit tuna. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. Now, when I develop things, it's really for humanity, you know. This thing about patent ownership, that's all fine and stuff, but my spirit is geared in a different level, you know. I mean, I have given out so many gems. That's why I want these people to get these 2 milks, you know, and, you know, just make it at home. You need to make it. You need to get off of these animal milks, you know, and other things like that, you know.
So kombucha, is it actually beneficial? If so, how should it be?
Well, again, it's a mushroom. It's a mushroom. And I said, me not touch no mushrooms. Now, interestingly, in the 80s when the kombucha came about, you know the story behind the kombucha?
No.
The mushroom. Oh, lost, forgotten mushroom from ancient time that someone in Russia found one kombucha mushroom. So I tell you, whoever came about with this stuff, they had some mean marketing behind it to see what it has come to today. And back in those days, somebody like, you know, a brother would bless me with a piece of kombucha mushroom because it was free. Nobody could charge for it. It was free. So somebody blessed me with a piece of kombucha mushroom. So I feed it. Check that. This is the big thing about it that's very interesting. Now, I feed this mushroom sugar and tea. I feed the sugar and tea, black tea or whatever, you know, which is full of caffeine or thiene. So 2 toxins. And this is what this mushroom eats. It's already a toxic. You know, it's already a fungus. And this kombucha mushroom, I'm feeding on sugar because this is what it grows on. I mean, of course, today they've refined it. They've taken it to a certain level and all of this type of stuff. But then it was free. So I would somebody give me a piece and I would go ahead and reproduce it, make it grow, interestingly enough. And then I would take and give Chaka a piece. I give like 4 or 6 of my brethren a piece. And this is how it spread it. And everybody produced their own kombucha. No, the thing is, it's distilleries, big breweries are making it now. So it's a serious, heavy commercial, deep marketing program that was unleashed some time ago. But me not trust no mushroom found in Russia, lost mushroom that somebody discovered, found in Russia, and all of a sudden the whole world is full of it now. All of a sudden it's all full of it now. So a fungus is a fungus. They call them, the next name for mushroom is